There was a time in my life where I thought I would be broken forever. I didn't think I'd ever feel whole or good or happy or successful or better. I didn't believe I could feel better than what I did because I felt so low. I was in such fear and trauma that I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't see a way out. And I used to type into the search engines, how do I heal? And how will I know that I've healed? Because I was so desperate to just feel better than what I was. And it has been a number of years now. It is a time thing, but it's also what you do in that time. Healing is hard work, but do you know what's harder? Living in survival mode is harder. Living with abuse, living with stress, living in fear is hard. And it wreaks havoc on your body, on your immune system, on your nervous system, and on your mental health and the way you feel about yourself and the world. And when I look back at my healing journey, safety is the absolute foundation that you need. Safety in your home, safety in your life. And I know that's not an instant fix. There are things that you need to do and upgrade and call people about and pay for, and it is a process, but safety is the number one. You have to get your safety in place. You'll continue putting your safety in place or prioritizing your safety or upgrading your security while there is still some sort of a threat of court or harm, or you're co-parenting or trying to co-parent or going through those sorts of processes. So safety isn't just it's done and then that's it. It's an ongoing process. Support. I had to create my own support network, my own social circle. I was a young mum, so my friend situation, social circle was a lot different. I didn't have the people around me to begin with, but I created that one person at a time. And I remember talking to the woman who became one of my bestest friends, and she said to me one day something about us being best friends. And I panicked inside, and I was thinking, oh my God, does she want to be my best friend? Are we best friends? I didn't know what. And then we talked about it later, she actually thought that I was like avoiding, because I didn't want to be her best friend. So that sounds good. Anyway, people are scared. People are just as scared as you. But if you start just talking, saying hello, going to the park at a regular time with your kids, joining a group, a hobby, anything you're interested in, going along and volunteering at your kids' sports or dance or art or music lessons or the service. That's where I met so many of my very good friends, and best support was getting involved, volunteering at their school. I did need the professional support as well. You need therapy. The counseling is important. Trauma therapy is essential. Build your professional support network. Build your social circle. It will take time, but put yourself out there. Step out of your comfort zone. I have had such beautiful friendships, and most of the reason that I am here, I am where I am today. The family and friend support that I had is what got me through, because we were never meant to do this on our own. We're supposed to do this in villages, in tribes, in communities. So create that for yourself, of your people, the safe, positive people who really have your back. And then look after yourself. Take good care of yourself. If you can do nothing else, just look after your physical body. Feed yourself good food, fruits and vegetables. Drink enough water, hydrate yourself. Get outside and get some fresh air. Take deep breaths in the sun. Sit on the grass. Sleep and rest. And I know that's really hard because keeping busy helps us to feel safe. Keeping busy lets us avoid the really hard emotional feelings. And also, there's a money thing. I'm just pulling into the car park. There's a, financial factor about buying decent food and things like that. And sometimes, even though sleep is so important and so essential to your well-being and your healing, if your body does not feel safe enough to go to sleep and be vulnerable, then you can't get enough sleep. It's, I guess it's the irony of, surviving trauma. And so the way that I knew that I was healing was because I started to talk to myself better. I started to not be as negative towards myself. And I thought about that when I was in my bathroom this morning, because I have put on extra weight lately. There has been a period of about probably the last 3 to 4 years that I've wanted to lose weight, but really haven't put in the effort to do it. And I'm doing my own work around that. But previously I would look at myself in the mirror and go, oh, you are such a fat pig. Like, why can't you just stop eating chocolate? I'm disgusting. And I'd repeat the words that I'd been told by ex-partners and things over the years, but the way I spoke to myself. And I realized this morning that even though I am probably at my heaviest right now and not feeling very comfortable, I didn't look in the mirror and go, ugh, like, why can't you just get it together? I just thought, this body has carried 5 babies. I am putting my priorities into something other than, working out, which I know is the way to gain strength and lose weight. But my time is going elsewhere, and I'm accepting that right now. But I will plan to become more active and eat better and things like that. And it's just a shift in the way that you speak to yourself and about yourself. And that's how I knew that I was healing, when I liked myself better, when I wanted to work on myself, develop myself, but not because I hated who I was, but because I liked and loved who I was becoming, or I was excited about who I wanted to become and the things I wanted to develop and grow in and upgrade and etc. And so that's what healing is. Safety, support, self-care. And then talking to yourself better, talking about yourself better, surrounding yourself with safe people and good supports, and just realizing that regardless of what you've been told along the way or what you've learned along the way, you are enough as you are. There is nothing wrong with you. Something happened to you and you're still trying to heal from that, and that's okay. It's normal. But healing is hard, but it's harder being in survival. It's harder living in stress. My life now is infinitely better, easier, less stressful, more peaceful, happier, more joyful than it used to be when I was in those relationships and when I was experiencing the post-separation abuse really intensively. And I don't think the fear and the threat of harm ever actually goes away, but the threat level isn't so high for me. I'm not on alert 24/7. I'm not sleeping with my phone in my hand. I'm just not as, what am I looking for? I'm not as obsessive about looking over my shoulder and being worried about, when he's going to message and when they're going to ring and what's going to happen next, because I'm in a different stage. That's how I know I'm healing. Even my worst days now are tremendously better than what my best days used to be. And that's something to strive for, because it's a much easier, peaceful, happier, joyful existence. But it does take some work, it does take some time, but it is possible. You are significant because you are, and I love you because you exist. And you've got this. I believe in you.